Today, a high-level Iranian official said from Tehran that it would be suicide for the Israeli state to conduct an attack on the Islamic Republic. And we're speaking today to Edwin Black, who's been a long-time observer of Middle Eastern affairs, as well as author of several books about a global addiction to petroleum. Edwin, could you tell us, is this effectively upping the ante on the part of Iran?
Well, it's part of the usual rhetoric that Iran has been targeting at the Israelis. They're going to wipe them off the map. There will be suicide to attack. They will be demolished. They will be disintegrated. This is the kind of vituperation that is facing the Jewish state on an hourly level. Israel, however, prefers to walk softly and carry a big stick. But lately, its big stick has become a little more visible in that it is made clear that it may reluctantly have to take action. And if it does, I think that action will be sooner rather than later.
I've read some Israeli observers who posit that the visit by Leon Panetta and some statements made by President Obama effectively are telling Israel to shut up as far as any potential armed reaction to these threats from Iran. What is your perception of that?
I'm not sure that we can rely upon those types of characterizations, but I do know that Israel is not saying a lot or doing a lot. Some people say that Israel is beating the war drums, but when an adversary such as Iran develops a nuclear weapon trigger, continues the high-speed enrichment of fuel for a nuclear bomb, and is constantly fielding short-range and long-range missiles, which are aimed almost exclusively at Israel and allies, then it must become clear that Israel can't be completely mum. I don't think it's for the United States to tell Israel what to do at all. Israel's not a vassal state, and I don't think the United States would tell Great Britain what to do if it had a war on its hands. It would not tell Saudi Arabia what to do, and I don't think it should tell Israel what to do.
There have been recently some reports that Iran's Fateh 10 missile has been given some enhancements. Have you heard whether there that they actually have the sufficient guidance systems for the terminal flight of these missiles as they're fired towards their targets?
Well, first of all, you must understand that Iran is constantly announcing enhancements, improvements, new and better, and this is part of the drumbeat. The reason that they do this is to keep up the psychological terror on Israel. That's not working because Israel has very steady nerves. Whether or not this enhancement has been really put into the entire fleet of those missiles, one or two missiles, whether it's ready to be installed, and whether it can be impaired and neutralized by certain strategic and defense factors, which I can't go into, remains to be seen. But certainly we must remember that it was Iran that saw fit to Photoshop an extra missile into the panorama of its launching. So Iran really can't be believed, especially since it's lying to the world about its nuclear program. Israel, however, is treating each one of these threats in the appropriate fashion, from what I can see.
Now, you've written quite a bit about the effects of a oil interruption in the case of, for example, mining the Strait of Hormuz, as Iran did in the 70s. What would be the effect of, say, a conflict between Israel and Iran be on global petroleum markets?
Well, first of all, the mining of the Strait of Hormuz would only be one facet of an effort by Iran to cause an oil interruption to the west. The Strait of Hormuz would not have to be mined. It could be attacked by the heights overlooking the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow waterway. It's 2 miles in each direction, 2 navigable sea lanes. It's 24 miles wide, but it's mainly marshes. And some 40% of the world's petroleum passes through this choke point. That's also 20% of the world's global supply. What Iran could do to disrupt that traffic and to disrupt the entire global supply would be to hit the oil tankers with sea-to-sea or land-to-sea or air-to-sea short-range missiles, which it could launch from its own rivers, from its own inland launching sites. It could also launch attacks against the Strait of Hormuz terminal, which is at Ras Tanura. That's very important. And it could lob a few over at Abqaiq, which is the desulfurization plant in the eastern part of the Saudi desert that is responsible for stabilizing some 75% of Saudi oil. So there are lots of ways for Iran to functionally shut the Strait of Hormuz down. And if it's opened up again through military action, they can keep on and on and on, repeat attacking. And it all wouldn't have to come from Iran itself. Its surrogates in Lebanon, in Yemen, and other places could actually take a 747 taking off from Sa'ana International Airport in Yemen and take a slight detour of 5 minutes and crash it into Abqaiq, crash it into the Strait of Hormuz. And you can't really guard against that. As I like to say, we have tanks and they have Toyotas and they know how to use them. They're swarming attack strategy where they have these small swarming boats. Their ability to field silkworms from the heights. There are all sorts of ways that Iran can make trouble. It is one of the greatest missile powers in the world, and its partner in this endeavor is number one missile power in the world, which is North Korea.
Thanks so much. We've been speaking to Edwin Black. He's the author of several books, among them The Farhud, Banking on Baghdad, and The Plan. Thanks very much, Edwin. And I'm Martin Barrios reporting for Sparrow News. Thank you.